So I remember the very first time I met Paul McGowan. Well, let me back up a little bit. So back when I was working for She Who Will Not Be Named, back in the 80s.
Miss A?
Yes. Uh, um, I had met my oldest friend today. I mean, I've had friends much earlier than that, but I've lost touch with all of them. So anyway, Rob, big, tall Chinese gentleman. We're both the same age.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay.
We're both the same age. So one day out of nowhere in Chinatown, he walks into the store, and we started a conversation. And turns out that we both like PS Audio, and he had just bought or owned some PS Audio, and that became the start of a lifelong friendship. So I had shortly afterwards, I think, I may be getting the timeline wrong, bought a PS Audio 5.0 preamp, which was supposed to be Paul's latest and greatest preamplifier, and it was very, very good, at least compared to all the other preamps I'd ever owned. But it tended to pick up noise. Being downtown near the CN Tower, it was terrible for noise and so on. But I really liked it. Eventually, I sold it. And then fast forward years later, started Audio Excellence. So right about 1992, picked up a line called Genesis Audio Speakers. I think that's what it was called. Could be Genesis something else. But it was a company that Paul McGowan and Arnie Nudell had come together and formed. And the speaker, the top of the line, was called the Genesis 3. See if you can find a picture of it and insert it. It looks a little bit like the AIDA, interestingly enough.
I never had the opportunity to hear Genesis, though.
With a circular ribbon. And anyway, so Paul was very nice. He I don't know if he had come to Canada for another reason, but he came to Canada and he came to visit me back when we were in this terrible industrial unit with no heat.
So you were like, what, 15 at the time?
22, 23. And Paul came, and really nice guy in person, appears exactly like he does in his videos. And he helped me set up the speakers, talked to me about the background, the relationships among the founders, and lovely time. And then the next time I saw him again was a few years afterwards. He had sold out his partnership in Genesis and had bought back PS Audio. And one of the very first things that he introduced when he came back to PS Audio was the new power conditioner. What was it called?
The original power?
Yeah, I think I have my notes here. The P300 power plant. Oh, we're rolling. Sorry. Hi everyone, Adrian at Audio Excellence Canada. Philip Jerome, he's joining us. He's one of our friends and the agent in Canada for Odyssey, and Angus behind the scenes. Today we're talking about the latest PS Audio Direct Stream DAC firmware. We're going to call this PS Audio versus PS Audio.
Well, we're going to compare it to what came before that, which is Windom.
Yes, so we're going to compare the firmware between the Windom and what's it called?
Sunlight.
So anyway, I was reminiscing about PS Audio. But before we go further, let me do a couple of things, housekeeping things. First of all, shout out to Nitish. Glad you're back. Missed you, my friend. Jensen and Stewart, you know who you are. I'll be seeing you guys soon, hopefully. And Jeffrey, congratulations. Your speakers sound great. Couldn't go to a better, lovelier guy. Second part of my housekeeping, our last video that we uploaded, AudioQuest Power Conditioners, the interview that I did with Garth Powell, I can honestly say I've never received so much hate mail is a bit too strong, but unhappy mail from especially people I think who are PS Audio fans, saying that, well, you should get Paul's side of the story, and all this time, and it's nothing came out of it, didn't learn anything, and so on and so forth. So let me address that. So first of all, I've certainly been in touch with Paul, and we're going to try and set up a time where we can talk about certain things, and hopefully I'll also Paul will also talk about his ideas and reasoning behind the power regeneration device. But more specifically, the interview with Garth was to get his ideas and his reasoning behind their philosophy of why and how they chose to do what they did with the Niagara. It doesn't mean that just because somebody did a certain way that he's right or he's wrong, or that you're right or you're wrong. It's just one person's opinion, one person's way of doing things. It's philosophy. In the store, we carry both. And I happen to like both very, very much, but for different reasons. One of these days, when we get a chance, we'll actually do an audio comparison. But what I can tell you is that on a day-to-day basis, if you're living in an area where voltage regulation is not an issue, you get fairly consistent voltage, the Niagara works really well. And the nice thing about the Niagara is that you can start at much lower pricing and get really good results. If you live, as a lot of our clients do, in areas where voltage can fluctuate like crazy, and in some cases where you can get brownouts or lose power entirely, the PS Audio is a godsend. And we have clients who own multiples of them. I was just at one client yesterday where he has 3 of the P20s, and he wouldn't do without them. And that's one area where the Niagara, I don't think, would have worked just as well. So to use a phrase from one of the YouTube creators that I watch from time to time, don't be a weenie baby. You buy what you like, absolutely. And I happen to think that Garth Powell is one very smart cookie. And thank you, by the way, Paul, for replying to one of the threads and interacting. I appreciate that very much. So anyway.
So can I add something here?
Yeah.
So certainly in my experience as a salesperson at Audio Excellence, I've had equal success with both brands for any number of their products. And so Niagara 1200, I've sold 5000s, 7000s, and whoever buys it loves it. And then I've sold Power Plant 3s, the new one, the Stellar, and various models up the range, and they all love it too. So the person who buys it is what's important here, and as long as they find that the result is to their likings, who are we to say you're wrong?
That's the most important.
That's the most important part.
At the end of the day.
And I encourage both brands. I point out like you said, the weaknesses or the strengths, and depending on the situation, one of those products will be right. They don't exactly quite overlap, but they do kind of provide coverage for enough of the spectrum that you will end up with something that will be much better than nothing.
Yeah, we'll plan to do a comparison between the P20 and the Niagara 7000, respectively, 2 of their top in each of their companies, and then give our impressions. And this way, this is what we think. So anyway, today let's talk about the latest firmware. I'm actually quite excited. So according to PS Audio, this will be the last update for the DirectStream DAC, which DirectStream DAC first came out, I want to say 2017, 2018. It's had a long run.
No, before that.
Is that right? But it's
been out for
quite a long
5 years.
It's been out for quite a long time. And what's amazing is that PS Audio has continually supported this product by releasing firmware for free. So each time there's a new firmware, it's like getting a brand new unit all over again. You get a different sound, typically better than the previous one. And so when we heard that this latest firmware was being released, I immediately said to Philip, let's download it and let's do a comparison and see what you think. So Philip went ahead and did the download. And no, sorry. So Philip said, okay, let's do a refresher, listen to the whole system with the current firmware, the Windom. And then after we've done that and made notes, I'll do the download and then we'll compare that. So as is usual, we don't share notes. I listen to it separately, independently from Philip.
Yeah, I'm not even in the
Right.
store when he listens.
That's right. And so the system that was hooked up is, Angus will take a picture of the system. We used the direct stream DAC in black with the Windom running out to the BHK preamp, and then running out into the BHK monoblocks and into the Wilson Audio Sabrinas.
So just for your PS audio supporters out there,
yeah,
the direct stream is actually plugged into
that's
the
right,
P20.
the P20. That's right, a complete PS audio system from front to back. So I remember after they had hooked it all up, I came in to listen to it one morning, and I listened to it for quite a long time. And my first impressions after the system was warmed up was, wow, this is really good. I had, because I hadn't had so much time to listen for quite a long time, I'd forgotten how good this system sounds. Airy, very atmospheric, no harshness, no apparent weaknesses. Everything was beautiful. It made the Sabrina sound like it was twice as big as the speaker is. Everything about it I really, really liked, my first impressions. And so I continued to listen and listen and take notes. And I also made sure that I measured the sound pressure level output as a reference, so that when we did the firmware, I would be able to make sure the setting was correct. So make my notes, wrote it down, but basically all positive. And then I came out, it's the same day Philip was in the store. I looked at him, I said, have you listened? He says, yes. I couldn't help myself. I said, it's good. And Philip says, oh yeah, it's really good.
I forgot how good it was.
That's
actually.
right. That's right. So anyway, Philip, you want to take it over?
I put the whole thing together. Thought, yeah, it'd be great to have all PS audio stuff, because that's what we have here, and we hadn't listened to it in a long time. And the first thing that happened, of course, obviously, was that one channel wasn't working. And I immediately called up our distributor, said, Don, we got to get this thing fixed, because we're doing a review of the new operating system for the direct stream, and the one monoblocks is not working. He says, well, it's Friday, and we'll have to talk again next week. So I waited, and then I actually plugged something else into the system, and that channel again wasn't working. So I thought, okay, what have I done? And then I realized it was something super simple, and it was just the speaker wire. So I jiggled it, fixed. So generally speaking, a house call like that to fix something like that would be a couple $100. So I just saved our company, that kind of service charge. So I did listen to it, and I thought all the same things that you did. It had a beautiful scale to it, and it was quite subtle.
Sorry, is this after the...
This is Windom.
This is the original.
That's
This
the
is the
original.
original.
Okay, sorry.
So all the things I loved about Windom that was better than the previous software, which I believe was... whichever one it was, because they all named them after mountains in Colorado. What I remember about the previous generation was that it was a little bit too analytical. They were trying to squeeze every last bit out of the FPGA, the programming, to create the most detailed, lifelike, immediate operating system for that DAC. And then when they brought out Windom, I had clients call me and say, wow, it sounds really natural. And that's what it sounds like. It's atmospheric, it has lots of ambience, it has a big kind of like sound stage that is very spacious, right? Not just, it's not tight, it has natural decay. And so this is what I noticed. I'm listening to it, I'm going, that's like Macintosh in a sense, right? Because Macintosh has that kind of forgiveness, and that's what Windom has. It has a bit of forgiveness to it. It's not like a truly audiophile kind of thing. Now, some people might not like that, so then we changed.
Okay, so again, I'm going to underline again, we haven't spoken since about this at all. right?
No, not a word.
After the firmware was updated, he and I have not talked about PS audio at all. In fact, the only thing that we had a conversation about was yesterday. He says, I want to listen to it again just to make sure that I have all my notes and I've refreshed my memory. And I did the same thing this morning. Came in at 3:30 in the morning and I did the same listening again. As a matter of fact, the system was still on when
Jerome I left it on deliberately to make sure there was no warm-up.
That's
time.
right. Jerome and Angus came in this morning. The music was still playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I didn't get a chance to listen to it a second time because Angus, of course, was setting up yesterday at the end of the day, and then it was before I could, sit down. But my impression the first time was so specific. It is a night and day difference between the two. What I found so the one overriding impression that I got from Sunlight is that it is way more immediate than Windom. In other words, all the details are more forward and in the room more apparent. That's what I got.
Is that what you wrote?
Denser, more forward.
Pretty good.
Go ahead.
So
that's 2 good ears, though.
As opposed to 1.
It's
as
2
opposed to the 1.
Yeah, well, yeah. 1 and 1. 1 plus 1. Yeah, everything is way more forward. It's much more immediate. And the other thing that I distinctly heard is, well, there's 2 things. One is that stuff in the background, you could hear more of it. More of it was going on. So when I played Dinah Krall's from Live in Paris, A Case of You, which is one of our demo tracks, you could hear all the shuffling that was going on. It was really, really interesting. You could hear everything that was going on stage as she was about to play. There's like a part at the beginning where it's almost no piano, and you could hear people moving about, guys on the edge of the stage kind of moving about. You could hear everything that was going on. But at the same time, everything was up front with greater, like you said, density, and but it's very easy to hear. The other thing that I heard, and maybe not, I didn't like it quite as much, was that everything resonated. There was much more physical interaction, the way the DAC was portraying itself in our system. It was really exciting because I could feel like everything was resonating in my chest. It didn't really matter the track. It gave it an energy that the smooth Windom kind of presentation did not. Yeah. So I don't know if you noticed that, but that's what I noticed.
So a bit more impact?
Way more impact.
So I'll just read some of the notes. Denser, more forward, almost louder.
Yes.
Yeah. Darker black background, hear more detail. Less airy, which is interesting. Not as airy and atmospheric as the Windom. A bit bright. So I guess that might be related to the forwardness. I, interestingly enough, initially had a bit of listening fatigue, but this was in the beginning when it was had first been downloaded. What's interesting, I noted here bass power to Philip's point resonated, more powerful, and here denser, richer, like tubes, like a tube system. But bass power and definition is better than tubes. The all PS audio system now sounds like a really good tube system, but with the bass and definition.
It is a tube system.
Yes.
There's tubes.
Well, hybrid.
Yeah.
Hybrid.
And did you wiggle the...
No, he did that.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to wiggle you.
I just feel sorry for Don getting a call on a Friday.
So overall, it was a big difference between Windom and Sunlight. Whereas Windom was, I would say almost everybody who listens to it would really enjoy it because it's never in your face, slightly laid back, really enjoyable with almost any kind of music you play, good or bad recordings in general. I think that with Sunlight, it's almost like a GT3, like a performance car.
It's more visceral.
Yeah, it's a performance car. You put a great recording in it, it'll blow your mind. It will shock you, it'll wake you up. It has all the strengths that a good or really good recording would just come right through. I think that a marginal or not so good recording might be on the edge, but that
I
therein
kind of
lies.
didn't really find that. I
No?
just found that, Windom draws you in a bit. Sunlight is definitely saying, "Hey, I'm here."
I'm here.
Yeah,
Listening to me.
So
Listen to
can you switch?
yeah. You can
Back?
you can go back one.
And the nice
generation.
thing is, it is a free
You have that choice. Yeah.
program,
Yes. Yeah.
which is nice.
Oh no! Listen, I one of the things I've said to clients who were considering the direct stream DAC has always been that imagine being able to buy a processor where you have that choice. You can upgrade when the factory upgrades. It's a superb DAC, as by any stretch comparison to anything that's out there. And then the other thing is that when you play direct stream formats, that's the native format. So you're going to get direct stream as well as it can be played. The from a format standpoint, however, if you don't like direct stream DAC for whatever reason, if you don't like what it means, the DS DAC converts everything, all digital inputs, to direct stream, and you may not philosophically care for that. But at the end of the day, it's the end result. Do you like it or not? And I think I really, really like it overall. Would you give it a thumbs up? Yeah, me too. I think it's a superb
It
DAC.
is different, and obviously the other caveat here, although it's not, we did have really good equipment. You're driving Sabrina X's. You've got the full PS audio rig. It's not insubstantial. If you have lesser equipment, you might not get as much as what we heard. But this is definitely what is going on in this upgrade. It's quite impressive that he was able to, like Ted was able to change his understanding of what that FPGA can do in the direct stream DAC. That's the amazing part, is that every time you want to change, you can just change it. And it's equally valid.
Yeah, I'm constantly amazed, especially now. I have a whole newfound respect for the system. I guess we took it for granted. It's in the store. It's always here. We use it on a regular basis. But I hadn't listened to it for so long that I've forgotten how good the system is. Yeah.
So I have a friend. I have a new friend. He has the direct stream DAC, and he updated to Sunlight, and he has a BHK preamp. And I heard his system for the first time the other day. Now he's using a pair of Focal active speakers, and it was glorious in his setup. So much so that it inspired me to try a PS Audio Lite version of that by using the Stellar preamp, which has a DAC built into it. Similar in the approach, with another pair of inexpensive these are Focals, these are M Audio powered speakers, studio monitors. So they're studio monitors, but the PS Audio approach right across the board. I mean, I guess listening to that, we're like, there's no way that this is that inexpensive. It had so many of the same attributes. Maybe not quite like Sunlight, but certainly the PS Audio approach is very, very musical, and I believe for a lot of hardcore Macintosh lovers, they would probably like this a great deal. It's a good alternative.
How much is the DAC?
It's
$9 Canadian?
$8,000, $9,000. This is Canadian dollars with the Bridge 2 in it.
Yeah. Overall, yeah, big home run.
Big home run.
Yeah.
Very
Good job, Paul and Ted and
It
everybody
only took
else.
them 18 months.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. So the funny thing is, I had a client the other day who said, I think I'm going to switch out of my PS Audio system into something else. He hadn't yet decided what he wanted. So I said, why? It sounds so good. He says, I love the sound. He says, the only thing is, I look at the stuff, and for what I paid for it, it looks very blah, very...
It's a bit pedestrian.
Yeah. I said, well, that's part of the reason that they can charge what they charge. They don't charge as much. Yeah.
Well, there's not too much equipment with rounded corners like this. Everything's usually very sharp, so this is a little bit
I
understated.
think he called it a printer. He called the amplifiers printer. Yeah, and I said, look, I think they look fine, and PS Audio has managed to make the most out of their chassis to keep the cost down. You know, if you want to pay more, you can, and you'd have to pay a lot more to get nicer cosmetics and so on, and you may not get any better sound. So anyway, we're being told we have to wrap up. So any last words? Did you want to tell us your story about? No, I didn't think so.
We're gonna pass on that one.
Oh.
So any new products on the horizon that we should be aware of?
With
Odyssey. Or...
I do need to just put a small asterisk.
Yes.
Because I represent more than just Odyssey for you. You know.
He's an encyclopedia of products.
I may have a few too many, but anyway. But as far as Odyssey, there are a couple of new.
So it's an LCD 5.
Didn't we just get in? Did we just get in, or have we gotten in our gaming?
No, we got the fancy gaming one. Yeah,
we got that in, right?
You did.
Have we received it yet? I haven't listened to it yet. It's supposed to be very good.
Angus, did you listen to it?
We have it.
Oh,
when did we get it in?
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that blew my mind about the Odyssey headphones. Remember the original gaming one? What was it called?
Oh, Mobius.
Mobius. That blew my mind. Just the sound effects.
And that one, you know, you were talking about giving that LED.
Yeah,
that one definitely does.
Yes.
But you have
it's
to do
part
it
of
with
the trick of the headphone. It's got electronic
Yeah,
module.
for any of you
Well,
who've never heard that headphone, see if you can
tracking.
borrow a set. It's the coolest thing. You wear it, you plug it in, you move your head, and suddenly you're going,
The
oh my
head
God,
tracking
it's
is remarkable.
insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's wonderful.
And for gaming, it's
And it's only what, $500-600?
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
and you also receive the new Penrose, which is the little brother of the Mobius.
Yeah, we got to try that.
What other brands do you carry?
God, just go to the website.
OneGoodYear.ca.
actually, you know, I actually designed that website partially for me because, you know, you lose track of the brands
So
that
we
you're
don't do a lot of self-promoting, but what does happen is Jerome will come to the store, start snapping a few pictures, and then we're suddenly on Instagram, we're suddenly on Facebook, and you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's a good photographer.
Yeah, we're very lax
thank
in promoting ourselves.
Not a
Anyway,
bad salesman, too.
we got to wrap up. Thanks for watching, especially to this end. If you have done so, I appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification and share. And of course, share with us your thoughts and comments below. If you agree or disagree, if you've heard the Sunlight, give us your thoughts. If you haven't, try it. I think you would really enjoy it. I think that's it.
Yeah, there's no risk involved.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to buy anything, just download it.
I look forward to the next generation of DACs that the
Yeah,
team
there's
will come
supposed
up
to
with.
be a replacement for
Yeah.
the direct stream. It's supposed to be, in the
Yeah.
works, from what I, read in the forums.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Not that we get any notices.
No.
So when they sent us
You're
that
the
Sunlight
last to know.
notice, I thought, oh, we've got like a few days to figure it out. No, it was out immediately, and
Yeah.
I actually was able to go to the website and download the thing.
They've got a great website.
They do.
The
It's
forum
pretty-
is
pretty well
fantastic.
organized, yeah.
And their videos are
Paul is the
really,
best.
really good.
Paul is the best.
Yeah.
I don't know how he generates as much content as he does. Yeah. Anyway, Adrian from Audio Excellence Canada, Philip, Jerome, and Angus behind the scenes. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.